During this cloudy and cold Canadian weather, I'm on the way to a very special place. A place that can warm the soul and the heart of every car enthusiast. A place combining the love of cars and racing mixed with deep engineering dives. This place is called Mountain Pass Performance, owned by a guy who has been inspiring me for many years. This guy is Sasha Anis, and today I'm super excited to have the opportunity to speak with him about his newest projects. Fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the talk. So, first of all, thank you for having me here. Yeah. It was a long journey coming here, but since...
Well, I haven't seen you in a long time. It's nice to see you that you've come back to Canada.
So, tell us more about, for the people who may not know you yet, can you give us more information what Mountain Pass Performance is about and what you guys do here? And
Yeah. Well, we make parts for electric vehicles, right? Teslas, suspension, brakes. That's our core business. But before we had this business, I had this 350Z time attack car, race car, endurance racing car. It's evolved over the years and changed. So we wanted to tie in this Z to our electric car business. So we created this hybrid system for this car many years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. And that car has become, it was once too underpowered to be competitive in time attack. But now with the extra bit of power from the hybrid system and the high power from the engine, it's now been able to win the highest levels of time attack in North America, which is cool, against cars that are much higher power. So we keep developing the Z. We did this body work, we added DRS, it has active four-wheel steering.
Walk us through, for example, the hybrid system briefly.
So it has a Formula E, like a pancake motor that sits behind the engine. We developed all the software in-house. It has a Cascadia motion inverter. And so the software runs the engine and the hybrid system really integrated. So the two are always working together. Then there's no flywheel in this engine, there's no starter. So the way the car starts is the electric motor spins the engine. And the way you start driving is you have to put the car in gear. You've seen these videos.
Yes.
And so the idea was just to try and make it as lightweight as possible, because obviously a hybrid adds a lot of weight to a already underpowered. It's really an electronics heavy vehicle. We kind of wanted to focus in that space, and that's kind of where a lot of my passion is. So I just keep adding layers of complexity, which may or may not be a good idea. So far it's been working, but
Yes.
So this year we added DRS, which has been helpful because the car's underpowered compared to our competition. And a couple years before that we added four-wheel steering, which is helpful with a really front-heavy car. This year we also did our own steering wheel, so it's got a...
Yeah, I want to see the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's got our microcontroller on there, and we didn't quite have enough wires in the pass-through to do everything analog, so it has to have a CAN bus connection to send all the signals through. But now it has 4 rotary knobs and then a center one, which is kind of like Formula One. It's a multifunction switch.
Yeah.
So you can see the different labels there, and they're going to do different things. So if I spin it down fully counterclockwise to charge mode, then it just automatically puts the car into charging mode no matter what hybrid map it's in. So it just, if I'm on an out lap or an in lap, it just goes to that mode. And then if I put it to other settings like RPM or BPO, I can then turn those thumb wheel knobs, and I can adjust things like the RPM limit. If I've got a brake point programmed to give me lights to indicate when to brake, I can change when those come on. I can change the ABS map, regen. So it just basically gives me the ability to have more knobs than I actually have.
So that you're not asleep while you're driving so fast, huh?
Yeah, you gotta pay attention. Before the problem was I wanted to make changes, but I couldn't because I didn't have enough controls of the steering wheel and I couldn't look down to the keypad. So I put on everything I could think of, and the multifunction switch was kind of the only way to be able to fit everything that I wanted to change, or might want to change. Every time you go out, maybe you're focusing on a different thing. So if I'm focusing on the rear steering, I can put it in the rear steering multifunction, and I can work on those parts for a couple laps, and I can switch to something else.
And down there is the EV part of the game, huh? Of the hybrid.
Yeah, that side there. So there's the inverter. You can see also the Brego DC-DC converter. There's the which does all the low voltage power distribution. And then this year, if you look behind you, we've also added live streaming. So we have a V-Box, which captures data from from the Motec CAN bus. It has a camera system and it overlays the telemetry on top of the video and then passes that all through to that black box. And then that's connected to a Starlink, SpaceX Starlink satellite that's in the trunk here. So we have high-speed internet connection pretty much wherever we are, and that live stream the.
So other people can watch you how you.
Yeah, live. It's more exciting live because you don't know what's going to happen. It's very unfiltered, like to see it as it's happening. It's not just us putting, the best things on YouTube. It's basically you don't know what's going to happen with this car. It's very experimental, so it's exciting. Cool. To be able to tune in and watch me yelling at you. It's our radio.
Can we see under the bonnet?
Yeah, so this year also we did spend a lot of time cleaning up the engine bay. So we made new carbon fiber airboxes, this new 3D printed aluminum carbon fiber strut brace, a new carbon fiber radiator exit duct, a new 3D printed aluminum swirl pod. So all this was designed kind of as one thing to all fit together nicely. The airbox matches the angle of the intake and this cutout for this. So everything was kind of designed as a whole. So now the engine bay is something I'm really proud of. It's really beautiful. Now the engine bay looks as nice as the outside of the car, for the most part. Yeah, so then our next project is working on this 599. We wanted to kind of come up with the craziest idea we could of taking the technology in this Z and put it into like a really special car. And this 5.9 was chosen because it's the last V12 Ferrari that you can get with a 6-speed manual. So this is getting converted to manual. It's getting a bunch of Motec and a bunch of electronics, just like this car. And then we're going to develop our own hybrid system in the coming years to kind of make this like kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that story in Austria, but basically like it's a story of just a guy that goes from being a nice guy to like an evil guy. Is going to be able to be this really comfortable grand touring car that you would take on a long drive, no problem, and be really comfortable, to being like a 599 XX Evo race car. It'll have active suspension or semi-active suspension. It'll be able to drive in full EV mode. It'll be as loud as a race car, or at the flip of a switch, it'll be as quiet as stock. So it's going to have this huge range of operating modes that is hopefully wider than any car you can buy. It'll be just as streetable as stock and way more extreme than the most extreme street car you can buy.
Good that you are not based in Austria, because you cannot do this there.
No.
No, all this fancy stuff.
So here we already have it running with the Motec that we've developed. It's a plug-and-play ECU. So you can see we designed our own adapter. There's a very limited space inside. So you can see the original ECU used to sit in here, and these connectors would have been in the original ECU. Now, these two connectors on the Motec run the engine, and then these two connectors are for the hybrid system in the future. And then the other side, we have a similar situation with a Motec and an adapter.
So, but basically the car was like originally with two ECUs.
Yep. Yeah, so we still have a two ECU situation, and they communicate over CAN bus with each other. This is like the main ECU that makes all the decisions, and the other one is just a follower. So we had to write all the software also on all those safety checks and all this stuff, so you can just have the software connected, just have the laptop connected to this ECU,
and it controls like
tuning changes, it changes on the other ECU, so you don't have to have both open at the same time.
Okay, that's nice. So basically master-slave system type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lots of closed loop communication. The factory ECU didn't really communicate back and forth much, which was interesting. When I was monitoring it, I was looking for messages and there's nothing. It's just It's just assuming that ECU does what it's supposed to do. It really has no idea.
And how you deal with the synchronization of both in terms of you're controlling the
well, this car is designed for that. So it has two crank position sensors.
Oh, really? So you're controlling basically two engines at the same time?
Sixes connected by a crankshaft. Two totally separate engines. Everything's separate. The O2 sensors are connected only to that engine. The throttle body is connected only to that engine. It's fuel systems, two fuel pumps you have to run.
So you basically have two engines.
You have two engines, two ECUs. It's two totally separate systems that are just connected by a crankshaft. They don't even know that the other is there. And we did run it on just one engine. When we first got it going on the Motec, I just got it running on the one side first to make sure everything's working. It sounded just like an inline six and everything. Yeah, it's truly two totally separated systems. The wiring harnesses are different, every single thing, the fuel system, even the evaporation system.
It looks like a big car, but it seems like you don't have a lot of space for the hybrid system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually crazy how they made such a big car and You know, like look at how much space you have. This is almost an engine bay of a front-wheel drive car.
What is this? Empty.
This is just the radiator. You know, this is like quite a lot of space.
So basically your idea for the hybrid will be same as Z.
So it will not be exactly the same. This system, we're going to keep the clutch, and we're going to put a motor in the torque tube, and then we're going to have electronic control of the clutch. So we can the clutch disengaged to be able to drive in like a full EV mode with the engine not spinning. Whereas in that car, whenever the electric motor is spinning, the engine has to be spinning. They're connected to. That's the main difference. And then the battery will sit on that rear parcel shelf. It'll be a small battery.
Which you are going to design yourself again.
Yep, we have designed our own battery in the Z, so we'll use that same kind of concept for this car. It's cool because this car has a lot of electronics in it, so it has already active suspension, so we're going to take over all of that ECU and make our own suspension ECU. It has automated gearbox control. We're going to convert it to manual, but we're going to control the solenoids, and we're going to take over those solenoids and run the hydraulic system to use at each damper to be able to raise and lower the suspension. We'll also use one output of that system to drive the clutch, to be able to still control the clutch.
And the clutch is also...
It's hydraulically actuated.
Exactly.
So we'll use a pedal, but there will be some kind of system where we can use the pedal and also a solenoid control to automatically disengage the engine, or maybe you're lazy and you don't feel like using the clutch and it can just do it for you. You know, we can do all kinds of things like that.
That sounds like pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, it's very much, again, electronics focused, and that's one of the things is that electronics is really the only thing that can give you this huge range.
Yes.
Without a compromise. You know, you can't do that with anything else. You can't mechanically make the damper super, super soft without having a compromise at you know, high speeds and high corner loads. But with electronic dampers, it's the same as physically putting in different dampers. It's like you're basically changing the forces entirely. You know, which you just can't do any other way. And so that's just kind of the concept that's being applied across the whole car.
I was watching your video with this rev.
Yeah, we did our own shift light module as well.
Yes.
So it's a factory shift light module.
Yeah.
You know, that comes with the car, and then it from the factory only has 5
LED deeper.
And now it's a CAN bus system connected device with 9 RGB LEDs, so you can work with it just like a Motorsport shift light module, which is super cool, super fun. We made a little app for it, and it can do things like wheel speed or wheel spin lights. So if your rear wheels are spinning, you can get an indication of how much, or if it's just one wheel spinning, see on one side. All these kinds of things we do on the race cars, you can have that in the studio. So lots is happening already. And
yes.
It's just going to keep building on it.
Yeah, it will keep you busy.
Yeah.